How different do you see Alabama and Georgia in terms of talent at this point compared to where they were in the past?
Yeah, that's a great question. Both teams, I think, still get the amount of talent in as far as on the high school level. They don't really do. Both teams don't really do a ton in the portal. They do enough, to kind of fill key roles, but they're not just taking guys out of the portal like you see with a Lane Kiffin or some of these other coaches like other SEC programs. But they do still rely on like developing, and I think that's a big part of developing guys is not something that most teams can do. But with the track record that Alabama and Georgia has of putting guys in the NFL, some guys who sit for 2 years and they play for a year and a half or 2 years, and they're NFL draft picks mostly on the Philadelphia Eagles if you're a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
But I do think NIL has changed it, and then the landscape obviously from Saban to DeBoer has changed it as well because they got two different coaching styles. I mean, Saban was more defensive oriented, more in the trenches. DeBoer is more of an offensive guy, a former offensive coordinator. So that, I mean, it's going to sound like kind of weird, but I mean, that tide has kind of changed a little bit with those two coaching. So I do think Bama is second tier to what Georgia's doing simply because of the continuity of the staff that Kirby has and the track record that he had. I mean, if you look at DeBoer, he's got a good track record of calling offenses, but he doesn't have a ton of guys in the NFL that you can count on. Like with Kirby, we can name off list after list of these guys that are coming. So if I was a player out of high school or in the portal, I would be more enticed to go to Georgia than I would Alabama at this specific time. So I hope they answer the question.
Yeah.